Hi there folks, and welcome to my channel. A bit of a different video today. I went to Asda to do a bit of shopping. While I was there I picked up the Papercraft Essentials magazine. So what kind of threw me with this when I did open it was that you've got your 234 piece card making kit, which is there, and I'll look at that in a minute. But it also says plus an extra stamp set, but I cannot for the life of me find the stamp set, and it was all sealed up when I bought the magazine. The only thing was that there was this inside it, a shed embossing folder, which I love, but just not sure whether this should be in there or whether they ran out of the extra stamps, so they've put the embossing folder in, just not changed that. Bit of a strange one, but hey ho. So that was the magazine, which I won't go through because if you've got it yourself you'll be able to do it yourself. But what I did want to have a very quick look at is that this gorgeous cart makes these shadow cards. So I thought I would have a go at making a shadow. I have never made a shadow card before, so I thought it'd be really good to have a go. So I've already pressed out. Let me have a quick show of what we've got in here first. So this is the one I've pressed out. So there's two of all of the different cards. That's another one of the cards and the bits that go with it, and that's another one of the cards there. So, and then you get a sheet of additional bits, including the bridging bits. You'll see in a minute, sorry, how those fit in. And then you've got all the extra bits that you can put onto your card. So let me just pop that away for now. So I've popped out the one, and these are all the extra bits that I've got with it, and that's with the card itself, which has got all of the different sentiments that you can use. So first of all, I've popped them out, and as you can see, they're not very big. So I was expecting something a little bit bigger than these. So these are quite small, which I was a little bit disappointed with, first of all, because your finished card will be that size, will be, you know, it's quite deep. So that is only 4.5 by 3 3/4 in size, and there's no envelopes as well to go with it. So that was the other thing. But let's get on with putting this together. So I've popped everything out, and I've put some tape on. So the instructions are very, very basic. So if you are new to crafting, it might not be an easy one for you to do. So first of all, you pop that on there. That was something else that I noticed, that the card itself, when you pop it together, you have the fold at the front. So this bit at the front, when you're making things like boxes, you would make sure that that was here at the back. So that was something else I thought of, that perhaps I would have done a little bit differently. So once you've done that, you open it up, because I would have perhaps have put it like that, but then you're hiding that lovely trellis there. The artwork is lovely, I have to say, it's really nice. So then I'm going to get my so these are the sort of hills within the card that give it some depth. So I'm going to get these and I'm going to work out how I want to have them. So so I think that's going to be what I'm looking for, something like that. So we've got one hill this side, one hill that side, and then back this side, slightly higher than that. So the instructions say to put it on the left hand side. Unfortunately I'm doing it right way, but there you go, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to take my first one, which is the back piece, and I'm going to line it up, making sure that this piece doesn't stick out, because otherwise that's going to knock my card slightly over. And I'm going to put this edge, line that with my crease so that we have some depth, but that I've got space to move. So just going to pop that on like that and line up this piece with that crease, that edge there with the crease. So very carefully trying to make sure that I don't go over. So let me just take it that way, you can see. So I'm holding that up a little bit, making sure that's in the crease, and then I'm going to fold it in, making sure it's above that baseline there. So there we go, and rub that down. Hopefully that then will fit nicely over there, which it's not quite going to. So I'm going to lift it up ever so slightly. If you don't, then what will happen is you end up with a crease in your bar. So what should happen is when you lay that down, I know this from making boxes, when you lay that down, this one should fold over nicely, so that when you do come to doing your card and putting it all together, that will fold flat when you're done. So that one works fine. Then this one, I'm now going to make sure that that goes on top of there, so that I'm going to put that edge up to that edge there, so that when I put it on, we have that on there. And then this one will then go on top, and I don't want it too close to that crease there, because what I want to do is to have a little bit of depth there. So I'm going to take that one off as well. Let's see if I can do it. As soon as I come on camera, suddenly my fingers and my fingernails don't want to be tearing off sticky tape or adhesive, and everything goes to pot. So I'm just going to fold that back, and I'm going to bring it down so that it lines up with that piece. But at the same time, I need to make sure that I'm not going below that piece, because otherwise it won't stand very well. So I'm just going to pop that on there, bring it down ever such a little bit, and then fold it down like that. And again, I'm going to make sure I can bring that over, and we have a fairly flat piece. And then with the last one, let me just get my bone folder and really make sure, burnish that down, so that that's, because if that comes loose, then my whole card is going to start falling apart, and all the bits that I stick on these will also fall apart. So this one's the same. I'm going to line it up and very carefully fold it down, but I'm going to bring that down a little bit more so that we can have a little bit, oh, what have I done wrong? I've put that one in, and that should have been the front one. Okay, let me very carefully. Luckily this tape gives you, it's a bit forgiving, so it just gives you enough time before it bonds forever. I'm just going to very quickly pop that on there, bring that down a little bit, not all the way. There we go. Oh goodness me, that sounds like a motorbike at the front. Yeah, so now we've got that hill thing going on, and I can pop the top one on very, very carefully. Bring that down ever such a little bit towards the bottom, so that we have more depth within our hills. So there we go. So that's the first bit done. And what will happen when I bring this over and attach it to the inside of there, I'll then be able to bring those and attach them to that side as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold it all over so I have an idea of what the front of my box looks like. And then I'm going to use some of these bits to decorate. So we have, I quite like the swing chair, so I think I'm going to use that. We have a tree which I want to put right at the back, lift it off with some of the dimensions. What else have we got? We've got the swing, but I don't want to be putting too much on there. I might use the benches, the little table and chairs. Oh goodness, that's come off. That's not good, is it? Ripped that very easily. So that's quite thin. Let me bring some of the flowers, and the basket of flowers would be useful as well, wouldn't it? Pop them there. What else do we want? So one of the chairs I think would be good. Maybe both of them, but I'm going to be ultra careful because I accidentally ripped the leg off the where's it gone? Where's that gone? Okay, I'll put it down and now I can't see it. Oh, there it is. So I'm going to have to repair that. So I don't want to rip any more on these. They're coming out fairly easily, but some of the pips that are holding them just don't want to let go. What you also need to be aware of is that there are some landlocked bits as well, so I'm just going to try and get them out as easily as I can. Right. Landlocked bit on here as well, so let's get that out. Oops, that's not coming out very well at all. Oh yeah, that's stuck. Oh, got it. And then we have a tiny bit in the middle of the chairs, so let's get those out as well. I think what I might do is put the bench to the back and then have the chairs on here somewhere, with the table in the middle. So, ooh, see, that's just gone straight through. Okay, making a bit of a mess of this, aren't I? There we go, and then there's one right in the middle of that basket, a circle. There we go. As my dad used to say, more haste, less speed. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to rush this so that I get it all in. So I'm going to pop this onto some dimensionals. So you get a pack of dimensionals with your pack, but I've also going to supplement it with some of the tiny little ones that I've got, because I'm not entirely sure that some of these will actually take to it. I think these are going to be too big, and even if I cut them down, they might not be very might not be small enough, if that makes sense. So I'm going to pop there. So this one I'm going to pop at the back. So let's bring that back in. So I'm going to keep that like that and pop that this side, I think, like that. And because I've put it on dimensionals, it's going to give it a bit more depth than if I put it flat on the back piece. Now what I want to do is to put the bench and table on this piece with the flowers on it. So these are not going to be very easy to rise up, so maybe I'll bring them forward a bit on here and glue rather than try and use dimensions, because even my tiny little dimensions are far too big for that. So where have I put my glue? Where have I put my glue? I know I had it here a minute ago. Oh dear, that's the problem, isn't it? Got too much stuff on my table. Again, I'm such a messy crafter. That's my biggest problem. Is such a messy crafter that I then cannot find anything Right, I'll pull this one out. This one will do for now. So let's see how we're going to pop our... I'm just going to put the legs. And of course this is all gunked up. No glue's going to come out of there. Oh, no, that's not going to work. Ah, dear me. Right, okay. Will this work, I wonder? The one thing you cannot do without... Where on earth have I put that? Do you guys have the same problem? Put things down and then you can't. It's like the fairies have been in and pinched whatever it is that you have had and moved it up. Found it. There we go. That's the one I was looking for. So that jelly bean one, I don't think I've opened it yet. It's good glue though. I do like the jelly bean glue. I go along to the fair, crafting fair that we have at the motorcycle museum, or usually have at the motorcycle museum, and stock up sometimes on things like glues, and you can pick up some very nice bargains, thank you very much, while you're there from some of the show contributors. So yeah, it's a good day out, that is. If you go early you get all the bargains, but you do find all the crowds. So I'm going to tuck that under, because otherwise I've got to take into consideration that bend there. So I'm going to tuck that one under, and I'm going to glue this one. I might tuck this one under as I see how I feel when I get there. So do I want to tuck it under, or do I want to have it straight? It's not that easy to craft upside down. I have that just sticking out a little bit, so there we have that, and then I'm going to pop that on top of the table like that. So that's going to be a very thin piece of glue along the bottom of my basket. Let's just hope it takes. There we go. Just stick there, and you can always, because you're doing it like this, and it's this type of card is quite a flat card, when you can fold it, it means that you can fold it down and just take that tiny bit of glue off. You can just, makes life easier when you are putting things together. So I also want to put this tree at the back, and I'm going to raise him up as well, I think. So let's get some more of these dimensionals and pop a couple on the tree. I'm not going to worry too much about the stem because it's right at the back, so he's going to be fine there. So take that off. Hope it doesn't rain again today. We've had that much rain recently, and if you've seen the thunderstorm video I put up last week, you'll understand what I mean, that we've had so much rain recently, and the thunderstorms we've had, we've had 3 days one after the other. Now it was lovely to have the thunderstorms, don't get me wrong, it was lovely, but what happened was we ended up with so much rain, it was just ridiculous. And I'm thinking of popping those on, but that might be a bit too much, mightn't it? So if I pop them on like that, it's going to hide everything behind it. So, although I could, no, because then you're going to hide it with the tabs. Okay, so we'll leave that like that and see what else we've got. So that swing at the front might be nice. Oh no, I've got the benches and everything else in, so let's see. What else have we got? So we have some no, no. I'm going to leave. I think what I'll do is, because I've made that up enough, I'm going to put it together and then I'm going to think about what I'm going to do with the rest. Now, the problem I now have is that that overlaps on the inside, so I can't fit all of them on. So I can fit the first two on, then I'm going to have to fit the front across. So I'm just going to fold that in, fold that down, so that's got that one. I'm going to do the next one as well, and then the last one I'm going to have to do quite separate. Let's tuck that in, fold that down. Yeah, that's got that one, but this one I can't put on until I've done this one, so I'm going to have to fold that back and pop this one on and then pop that one on last. So let's bring that in. Ooh, don't stick, don't stick. Dear. There we go, that's that one. And now I'm going to have to figure out, okay, flip that, will that flip out? There we go. Flip that one out, take that off. I think if I made my own I would do it very differently. I think I would definitely. See, that doesn't give me as much dimension as the other one does. You can see I've got a little bit of dimension there, and this one is right on top. So yeah, so there we go, and that's bent as well. So flip it forward. So that's it so far. So what I'll do is I'll finish it off and take a photograph and pop this on the front of this video so that you can see what it looks like. Yeah, I like it. I like the idea of it. Not overly impressed with how it worked out, but that could be because it's the first ever one that I've ever done. So it could just be me being awkward and with fat fingers. So there you go. Okay, so that was Papercraft Essentials magazine, number 188. But I think I'm going to use the others to make cards in a different way. Maybe use some of these as backgrounds and then use all the other bits to go on top, rather than make up the shadow boxes. But the one thing is that whenever I'm finished, whenever I'm finished, I'm going to have, I think, a lot of these little bits left over that will make some fabulous additions to my other cards. So, okay, right, I'm going to say bye-bye and speak to you all next time. Bye for now.